Peace, what's good, y'all? It's your brother God Science. I'm up in here once again. Shout out, special salute to the few that do watch, subscribe. Really appreciate y'all, true indeed. As you see the title, Cam responds to Jim Jones once again. I look a little depressed about it because I'm a big Dipset fan. You know what I mean? My brother, younger brother, put me on to Dipset. When Cameron first came out with Confessions of Fire, I think he had that was his first album. SDE, Sex, Drugs. I didn't really like Cam. I didn't gravitate to him. I looked at him more of, I don't know, for some reason I thought it was like some pretty boy type rap or something. But my brother, my younger brother, salute to my man Supreme, rest in peace. You know, that me and him used to talk hip hop, you know, for hours, man. But he put me on to Cam. And that's when he went over to Rockefeller. Because the last album, SDE, he had some alright songs, but it just didn't, you know, it didn't capture me like that. Like I said, I was all into Wu-Tang at that time, Def Squad. Eric Sermon is like a big, you know, has to do a big, like when it comes to production, inspiring me with production, I was a big Eric Sermon fan, EPMD fan, period. So my brother put me on the Cameron, and I started listening to Cameron. And his first album, Un-Rockefeller, Come Home With Me, that's a classic. I was like, it seemed like he just switched up his style. He came hard. And out of the whole crew, I remember like the first time I heard Jewels, I was like, yo, I thought this dude was gonna be up there like Jay, because his flow was so dope. He had his own style. And when he dropped his first album, From Me to You, man, I put my brother on to that. So my brother, he was like, you know, really a big Cameron fan. And I remember when that album dropped, I was like, yo, you need to check out Jewel's shit. And from there, we started getting into the Dipset. Salute to the Heat Makers, man, because, you know, whether it's said or not, the Heat Makers is like, they have a big thing to do with the sound of, you know, the success of Diplomats, because they brought a whole new sound. Now, I know some people will argue with me and say, yeah, Just Blaze was doing that first. Actually, RZA is the first person I heard that was like speeding up samples back in like 1994. You know, so I won't say they stole it, but they just had a style. They had like a different style, and then they were sampling these I think Arsonist is Jamaican or something. So they were sampling these Jamaican songs that I knew, because, you know, like I said, my dad family's from Trinidad, so we play soca and we play hip hop. Reggae. So a lot of those songs they were sampling I knew, and they were sampling it dope. So they had a whole sound. You know what I'm saying? And it was just dope. It became a movement. Man, I remember when I went to New York for the summer to visit Pops, man. It's like everybody was dressed like Jewels, man. Everybody had the bandanas with the fitted and the tibs, and it was like, damn. So that's just to tell you the impact that these brothers had. And then they dropped Diplomatic Immunity, which was like so, you know, out of the whole rock, man, these dudes, you know, and Cam, like being the mastermind he is, man, he just did it perfectly. You know, he came, wow. Then, you know, they dropped that Diplomatic Immunity. That album was dope. I mean, I hardly skipped songs on that album, and that was like a double CD. And then right after that, Jewel's hit. And then I remember when Jim Jones' first album hit from, God, I can't believe I forgot because I used to play it back to back. And that was, I think it was on Koch, not on Def Jam. from home to church or something like that. But it's dope. I think that's his dopest album. Ballin', I didn't really like. I think it was a little bit, the song was hot, it was catchy, but I didn't really like Ballin'. That first album he did, that was dope because he had that sound. He had the Heat Makers on there, and they just had that. He wasn't the greatest lyrically out of the two, and Cam wasn't. And to be fair, Cam wasn't the most lyrically also, but his swag. I think his swag was, he could rhyme, but Joel's was something else. He was like the Michael Jackson of the whole group, and I had like high hopes for that dude, man. Like, not saying he's whack now, but I thought that he was gonna go to like a Jay-Z status type, because dude just had his style was just dope. You know what I mean? And for his age, he was rhyming about some real stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I was definitely a big and then they started adding groups. You had Uncasa, which I still follow and watch his live streams. And then you had the Diplomatics Immunity 2. Then you had people like Hell Rel. And so it was like a whole movement. It was like basically like a Wu-Tang. It was like Wu-Tang. You know what I mean? And it's just sad to see that brothers, man, can't get together. I think that move that Jim Jones did, 50 talked about it, but I think when he did that move, man, it just showed, it never was the same. You know what I'm saying? It was like, and this is my personal, I don't know these brothers. I met Cam once when I was in New York, and I didn't even meet him like, what's up, Cam? I saw him like, he do be up in Harlem like that. But I never met any other. I always wanted to meet Joel's, because like I said, that first album, to this day, I still bang that first album. To this day. Purple Haze, all those first albums are classics, man. And, they gave us some great music, man. And from the music, you couldn't tell they had any problems or anything. Even when they come back and they did that album, I wish Heat Makers produced the whole album, just like Jim Jones got an album. I don't know, I'm forgetting these titles, but he recently, not recently, it's been a while, but he did a solo album and he had Heat Makers do the whole thing. That was dope. I think that's one of Jim Jones, this first album and that album is one of the dopest albums, because Heat Makers, they bring a certain sound, man. And I think when they deviated a little from that sound is what I didn't like. But it was so much groups coming out, I don't probably think Heat Makers could do all of the beats for them. But that sound, of course, Purple CD at Purple CD, Aguilar, salute to Aguilar. He's a great producer, so he held that down. But it just solidifies that it's not gonna end. Cam said this, man. We was waiting for Dipset, a real Dipset album, and he was like, look, man, you see how long it's been? It's not gonna happen. And I just think that, just me looking in from the outside, people just grow apart. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you do certain things. Certain things, just not, it's no coming. You can come back from it, but it's just not gonna be the same. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be the same. And I remember when, Cam was on IG and he was sitting down with that Pepsi Cola, the Pepsi can, and he was telling the whole story. So he's right. He did do this before, and he was saying the reason why he didn't mess with you is because like he brings the issues out of public. You know what I mean? Like you got his number, call him if you have an issue or something like that. But I don't know, man. It is what it is, but not to y'all ain't calling me now. But anyway, I know that they was gonna come and respond, and Mace eating that popcorn just had me on the. I had to bust out laughing. I like spilled my coffee. He just sit there eating that popcorn. But it's like, you know, and Cam still didn't like go hard and disrespect them, because they're brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? They're always gonna have that legacy of Diplomat, regardless if they don't speak or anything like that. It's just unfortunate that it seems like every couple of, and Jim has said this, I'm not, trying to be into his their business, because I don't know them personally, but he said he's emotional, and some people are like that. They're passionate and emotional, and he's just a dude like that. But I don't think it's gonna be any more diplomatic reunions or any diplomatic new albums.
In 1 mile, take a slight right turn toward Haines City.
Sorry, y'all. Going to see someone, so I gotta put on the directions. But that's just my take on it, man. Being a big Dipset fan is a little disappointing, but like I said, the great thing about music, we have it. I could always go pop in Diplomatic Community like I'm about to do now, because I gotta go on a ride, and it's like they together, you know what I'm saying? So that's the beauty of music, and that's what I love, man. You can always just go back and listen to all those classics, man. Especially if you took a break from them and haven't listened to them in a while, like me, go and pop it in and listen to it. But that's about it. What you guys think, man? Do you think these dudes will ever be able to like squash this and come back in? I think it's too late for it, but never say never, you know what I'm saying? Joel's still out there. I'm waiting for new music from him. Maybe I was wanting too much, but I
stay in the right lane.
Anybody thought that Joel's was hot like that? Like he's gonna be up there, man. But I don't know what happened. Personal things happen, and he's a human being too. So salute to Joel.
Continue straight, then use the right lane to take a slight right turn toward Haines City.
All right, you said it. I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. I'm out, man. Y'all leave your comments if you made it this far. I appreciate y'all. Y'all stay safe out here, and y'all stay up. Peace.